Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So spicy it melts. We are in
大地の神の娘プロセルピナはある時冥界の神であるプルートに冥界へとさらわれてしまいました。
totally forgot he said that. I knew he did because I had to cut it out the last video, but still. But anyway, we're in Allan, episode 2 of Allan, part 2, however you want to look at it. I ended it early last time because I don't know how long this is going to be, and I was running. Well, I finished editing around 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. I finished editing around 2 a.m. last night and posted it, so there's no way I could have recorded another section and edited it because 2 o'clock is when I start fading. And while I can stay up to 3 or 4, I can't stay up to 3 or 4 editing because then I start making mistakes and I don't want to finish because I don't want mistakes in my video. I'm sure there's mistakes in my video because I've done it anyway, even though I know I shouldn't. But yeah, I posted it around 2 a.m. last night, so that's about, I mean, I could post videos at 3 as well, like I've done it before, but I couldn't, like, there's no way I could have recorded another 30-minute section and edited it and got it out by 3. Anyway, I wonder if they're thinking back in time.
プロセルピナは決してプルートの求愛には応えませんでしたが、空腹に耐えかねてザクロの実を食べてしまいます。しかし冥界の食べ物を口にした者は冥界に属するという神々の取り決めがありました。それはプロセルピナの母である大地の神でさえも覆せません。そのためプロセルピナは食べたザクロの数の分だけ冥界にとどまることを定められ、母である大地の神はその間だけ地上に実りをもたらすことをやめました。そうして人間の世界には冬が生まれ、一年のうちに実りの少ない厳しい季節ができることとなったのです。
I'm sure that'll come in perspective later. It sounded like he was reading out of a book. The day of our honeymoon arrived. Tomorrow Paradise, the Paradise of Love. That was the name given to the artificial island built just off the coast of Lost York. This place had become a popular romantic destination for couples. Wow. Stepping off the ferry, we felt the warm sun and gentle sea breeze. Then we grabbed some bubble tea from a nearby stall. I forgot that's his favorite. This is so good. The wind feels nice too. I love this place.
あ、こんな場所だったんだな。知らなかったよ。
If it's warm outside, he must be toasty in that sweater. Oh, you've never been here before, Allan?
まあ、実は行ったことがなかったんだ。
His vague response hinted at something. Yeah, I know, right? Earlier he was talking about wanting to see my reaction. Was he always watching over me ever since the day I was born? For over 20 years, he didn't do anything else. So I wanted Allan to enjoy our honeymoon too. Hey Allan, tell me if there's anything you want to do.
でも、もう十分にしてるよ。
He's been alive a long time. He kissed me on the forehead and smiled. The cold bubble tea I was holding left my fingers wet, a sensation I found oddly pleasant. Oh, really? As we walked around, something caught my eye. Look, Allan, a merry-go-round.
ああ、そういえば数年前に新しく作ったってニュースになってたな。乗ってみようか。
Yeah. We finished our bubble tea and tossed the cups in the trash before holding hands. Soon we arrived at the merry-go-round. Is this the CG we're getting? Aw, that's so cute. I love his look of adoration on his face. It was lined with seats in the shape of horses, birds, and even a pumpkin carriage. I chose the horse and hopped on. Up we go.
おっと、危ない。ほら、ちゃんと捕まって。
Oh, now that I'm up here, it's actually pretty high up.
大丈夫？
I'm fine. Allan, come on.
あ、
Allan nodded, but he didn't budge. You should hurry up, or you'll end up riding that pumpkin carriage. The horses were popular, so those seats were taken quickly. I was curious why Allan paused, then he gently touched my cheek.
少しでも長く、君の喜ぶ顔を見ていたいんだ。
He wants to see your faces. He smiled at me and claimed to be waiting until he heard the buzzer. We spent every day together. I felt utterly spoiled by him. Soon the buzzer sounded, signaling the start of the ride. Come on, Allan.
あ、わかってる。
You can stand next to horses. That's what parents do for their kids. Allan looked around for a seat near me. But all the horses were already taken, so he had to settle in the pumpkin carriage. Poor Allan. He lost out. Afterwards, we explored the newly added attractions. Aside from the merry-go-round, there were coffee cup rides and auto rickshaws that ran throughout the island. We rode the auto rickshaws, enjoying what the island had to offer. Before we knew it, the sun began to set. When night fell, we found the scenic spot on the island's edge. There we noticed a couple holding their own wedding. Look, Allan, they're getting married.
本当だ。
We kept ourselves hidden to make sure we didn't interfere.
二人ともおめでとう。最高にハッピーな夫婦になってよ。
ありがとう、みんな。
ありがとう。
Oh, so that kind of dress is the trend for weddings these days. In the past, brides mainly wore white, but now it seemed that the dresses were more colorful. As I watched the wedding, old habits from my time at Cupid Corp resurfaced. Don't be sad. Oh my goodness. She's happy. He's gonna take every little thing that she does as a sign that she's unhappy.
邪魔したら悪いし、俺たちは戻ろうか。
It still says after a few decades in the top right corner. Is it gonna say that the whole time? Oh, yeah, right. It's almost time for a check-in, so I guess we should get going.
ほら、おいで。
Allan offered his hand to me. His usual smile seemed different, but perhaps it was just the evening light. It's not different. Go comfort him. Tell him you're happy. After a delightful dinner, we finally reached our hotel. We'd chosen a honeymoon package for our room. Wow, this room is nice. They had welcome drinks and a plate of fruit ready for us. The room was decorated in a way that was fitting for a honeymoon. I couldn't help but inspect everything.
うん。新婚旅行らしい部屋だね。
And it's purple, just fitting for Allan. Look, Allan, is that a lobster decoration? It's so cute. Look how round it is. Goodness, the lobsters. Don't eat it.
Hmm?
Don't eat the lobsters, you'll turn into a lobster. Hey, they have a big jacuzzi here. Wow.
そうだね。
And matching loungewear for us. It's so cute. Look.
もう君は。
I know, so excited about everything. While I was still looking around the room, Allan suddenly embraced me from behind. With the loungewear still in my hand, I heard his voice laugh softly.
本当だ。君によく似合いそうだな。
He turned me around and gently kissed my lips, then he smiled playfully.
じゃあせっかくだし、着てみせてくれる？
Why don't you put it on? Huh? Right now?
そうだよ。ほら、 手を挙げてくれ。俺も手伝ってあげる。
As Allan helped me change, we started playfully horsing around. But really, I felt so ticklish that I couldn't help but laugh. While laughing, we're gonna tickle him back. First, we're gonna hug him. Oh, Allan. He was tickling me so much that I hugged him to try and stop him, but Allan just smiled broadly. My husband never gives in. I have to stop.
ごめんごめん。はしゃぐ君を見ていたら少し悪ふざけしたくなったんだ。
My husband will restrain me until I give up. If I try to continue the battle, he just restrains me. It's not fair being a girl. You can't out. The man's too strong. Anyway. You're so mean. I puffed out my cheeks and started to tickle him back, but I quickly found myself outmatched. We laughed together as we collapsed onto the bed.
ほら、俺の上においで。
Let's revisit that in a minute. You're gonna tickle him back. Allan, I won't give up. Tickle, tickle.
くすぐったい。そこを狙ってくるなんて、案外君は策士だね。でもそれなら。
My husband is not that ticklish. I knew all of Allan ticklish spots just as he knew mine, but I knew I had no chance if he got serious. I can't, this is too much. We laughed together and we both collapsed onto the bed.
ほら、俺の上においで。
Do I get to take off your clothes? Oh, really?
うん、いいよ。一緒にバスルームに行こうか。
What? Our playful teasing continued as I helped him undress. Suddenly, we heard cheering from outside our window. What? I wonder what's going on. Looking out, I saw a newlywed couple holding a banquet at a nearby restaurant. Look, Allan, it's the wedding party from earlier.
おう、本当だ。
Allan got up from the bed while carrying me in his arms. I clung to him tightly as we made our way to the balcony. I hope you're still partially dressed. Below us, the wedding guests celebrated with the bride and groom. There was the enormous wedding cake. The couple cut it together and fed each other a bite. It was a joyous scene of newlyweds basking in the happiness of their marriage.
へえ。レストランを貸し切ってパーティーをしているのか。
That wedding cake is huge. As I watched them, my old habits as Cupid kicked in, making me feel affectionate towards the new couple. They look so happy. How wonderful that weddings like this still happen. I used to watch over the human realm from Celestia for hundreds of years. I would always check up on the couples I had matched. Seeing how weddings evolved over the years was fascinating. Even after I became a demon, I continued my matchmaking. I would even visit the couples occasionally. Seeing humans and their happiness brings me so much joy. I was no longer a god, but couldn't a demon care for humans too? As these thoughts filled my mind, Allan gently turned my face to his.
リネット、こっち見て。
Huh? Before I could react, he kissed me more intensely than before. His kiss deepened, taking me by surprise, and I instinctively tensed. But he continued, his pace gentler now, coaxing me into relaxation. Drawing me nearer, he conveyed a sense of urgency through his touch. His long, slender fingers held me firmly, ensuring I was securely in his embrace. Allan?
新婚旅行だろ。
He's like, isn't this natural? His voice was husky and his lips trailed down my neck. There was something different about him tonight. It wasn't just the celebratory mood of our honeymoon. There was a depth of emotion, a sadness mingled with the passion. Silently, I clung to him because he was still carrying me. I was aware that we were still on the balcony. Allan, let's go inside. We're in full view here. I know, right?
大丈夫だよ。
What do you mean it's fine? What do you mean? I know, right?
ハネムーンなんだ。たまには好きにしたい。
I looked up, finding his eyes clouded with a mix of desire and sorrow. The tone of his voice seeped with envy, and I finally understood why. Perhaps he wished for a grand celebration like the one we seen earlier. But our unique circumstances as demons meant our friends didn't age as we did. Clarice might have come if we asked, but if we did, it would have reminded us of the people we couldn't. Or the people who couldn't. We had no choice but to remain alone. It was a lonely realization. I know, I was just thinking about this after the last episode. All the Parasite 5 would have aged 40 years by now, so they'd all be in their 60s, and Shelby would be in his 70s. I was sure of that. It's okay, Allan. I patted Allan on the head as he breathed in deeply.
リネット。
His expression was slightly mortified. He seemed to want me even more. The distant ocean waves echoed his emotions. As the tide swelled, so did the intensity between us. The heat that touched me felt especially hot tonight. Later that evening, I watched her sleep as I held her close.
リネット。
I held her daintily as not to wake her, but relished with her warmth. I didn't need to sleep, but she had to when she was tired. She was just like a human. Despite being a demon, her human-like qualities remained, just as they had when she was a god or an angel.
なんだか俺がもらってばっかりだな。
My desire for her persisted even as she slept. After she just drifted off, I entered her dreams. It was my usual way of feeding, but tonight I craved her more than ever. Can you feed off demons, though? I thought you had to feed off humans.
夢でも君はあんな顔するんだな。
I felt so happy and fulfilled. It was the look of a woman who would indulge my every whim. Whenever she made that face, I wanted her even more. Sometimes I felt like I overdid it.
明日起きられるといいんだけど。
What humans call the act of lovemaking is an exchange of energy for demons. And for gods too, apparently. Though it should have revitalized her, I still worry that it strained her body. Before she was a demon, this act would have drained her life force. Even though I knew things were different now, a sense of guilt still overcame me whenever we made love.
ねえ、君は今幸せ？
I whispered a question to her while she slept, one I couldn't ask her while she was awake. Yeah, you can. Just man up and do it, jeez. Even if we couldn't share our wedding with anyone else, even if all we would ever have was each other, I believe she'd say she was happy, knowing that made it harder for me to ask.
参ったな。
For the first time, I recognized my own vulnerability and covered my face with my hands. My first wish was simply for her to keep living. Then I wished for us to live together. But now I desire even more.
どんどん欲張りになるな。
Once I felt content, new desires emerged. During our honeymoon, all I wanted was her happiness. But after I saw the other couple's public celebration, I wanted us to be noticed too. That's why I chose the hotel's honeymoon package and made love to her on the balcony. Oh, goodness, why? I'd be so embarrassed. I hadn't realized that I wanted my love to be acknowledged by others. All I could think about was getting what I wanted. For a long time, I never imagined that I'd even get to experience this happiness.
相当に浮かれてるな。
I gave her a gentle kiss while she slept. Even that small gesture stirred some emotions within me. I wanted her. I wanted her to be happy. That feeling would never change. Overwhelmed by my endless desire, I held her close. In that tender moment, happiness enveloped me. I mean, you're a demon. Demons want a lot of things. They want everything, right? They desire everything. That's pretty much the instincts of a demon in my experience with, like, books and stuff. Books and other games and other movies and whatnot. Upon waking, the first face I saw was Allan's.
おはよ
Good morning, Allan. This was my daily morning scene. Since Allan, a greater demon, didn't need rest, I always woke up to him watching me. He'd embrace me and nuzzle my cheek the moment I woke up. Allan, have you eaten?
う。あ、もちろん。
You should know that.
君も覚えてるだろ
I know. I was in your dream last night. Yes, I remember. It's just I recalled the dream from the previous night, making me blush. The way Allan fed in that dream was rather intense. That's funny. And they just leave it up to the reader's imagination. In my dreams, he'd do things that were impossible in reality. The more depraved it was, the more it seemed to satisfy him. I didn't expect him to go so far this time. What did he do?
ほら、それより君の食事もそろそろ届くってさっき連絡があったんだ。顔洗っといで。
Oh, breakfast in bed?
あ、新婚旅行プランだからね。
Yay.
ほら、起きておいで。
She's so cute. Yay. Before I could do anything, Allan lifted me from the bed and carried me to the bathroom. By the time I got dressed, breakfast had arrived. It was beautifully arranged with a honeymoon theme which delighted me. We relished our time at Demore Paradise for a few more days. Once content, we took a ferry home. I was just thinking too, whenever I was realizing how old the Parasite 5 was, I'm like, Omar's gotta be that old too, which means Omar shouldn't be in here, which means no one else should really show up in this route either, so usually they're in every route. They've been in every route, right? Even Shelby's, I want to say. So is this really going to be a route with just Allan and her? Once content, we took the ferry home. That was so much fun.
よかった。俺もすごく楽しかったよ。
Really?
あ？俺も結構はしゃいでただろ
Was he? I felt like I was the excited one while he was merely taking care of me. But then again, I think he smiled a bit more than usual.
また遊びに来よ
Yes, I can't wait.
あ。
As we stood on the ferry deck, Demore Paradise faded from our sight. That honeymoon would forever be a cherished memory. While I thought I'd enjoy it enough, leaving made me want more. Natural demon desires. Sweet bathroom. Oh my goodness. Like, what the heck? What's wrong with these titles? So spicy it melts. You know. Special night on the balcony. Sweet bathroom. They were talking about having a tub. Maybe they get a tub. We soon returned to our home on 9th Avenue. Home at last.
戻ってきたな。
Although I wished our trip lasted longer, returning home gave me comfort. I'm sure that was what it meant to have a home. Allan smiled, and he seemed to share my sentiment. You're right. By the way, should we stop by the supermarket? We cleared the fridge before the trip.
まあ、そうだね。寄っていこうか。
My ice melted. I'm so sad. At the supermarket, our cart quickly filled with groceries. I mean, I know it has to be like 2D, I guess. Maybe they could have gave it a little bit more depth. Vegetables, meat, milk. I just put in what I liked since I was usually the one eating.
他に何か食べたいものとかある？
I always wanted to try these, but what should I do?
これは？
Chia seeds. I heard they're great for your skin, but I'm worried I won't like them. I keep going back and forth about getting them.
食べきれなかったら俺も付き合うよ。
I'll eat them. Really? You really will?
もちろんだよ。ほら、買ってみよう。
Thanks. He chatted like this as we pushed the cart down the aisle. Suddenly, Allan paused at the baking section.
ああ、ちょっと待って。これも買っていい？
Fresh cream, flour extract, and vanilla. Are you planning to bake something?
ああ。うん。実はウェディングケーキを作れないかって思ったんだ。
Aw, that's adorable. A wedding cake.
まだ食べてなかっただろ。だからせめて家で作りたいって思ったんだけど。どう？
I love that. I agreed wholeheartedly, and Allan visibly relaxed.
よかった。実はダムールパラディで見かけた結婚式で新郎新婦が一緒に写真を撮ってたのを見ていいなって思ってたんだ。結婚式も新婚旅行も終わっちゃったけどさ、せめて思い出に写真を撮っておこう。
Great idea. I'll make an impressive cake then. I know what the CG is going to be for that too. I already know. Because they're eating in it, and he's taking a selfie of them too. Well, I know what the next CG is going to be.
そうしよう。
Oh, he's blushing. Our cart overflowed as we added flour, eggs, fresh cream, and baking tools. While browsing fruits, we debated about what to add to the filling of the cake. So it's strawberries. We're going to say dried figs first. How about dried figs? Sliced or as a jam, they'd be unique.
ああ、確かに見たことないかもね。生のフルーツとは違った食感で大人なウェディングケーキになりそうだな。
It'd suit you, Allan.
君も十分大人だと思うけど。
We continued discussing as we shopped, opting to buy all the fruits that piqued our interest. A wedding, a honeymoon, and now a wedding cake. Our newlywed adventures seemed to keep unfolding, and that thought alone brought me joy. Alright, we're gonna add strawberries. Strawberries are a classic. Sliced, they look adorable.
そうだね。可愛い君にぴったりなケーキになりそうだな。
I think it'd suit you too, Allan. Sweet, tangy, and soft. We continued discussing as we shopped, opting to buy all the fruits that piqued our interest. A wedding, a honeymoon, and now a wedding cake. Our newlywed adventures seemed to keep unfolding, and that thought alone brought me joy. And so our shopping trip continued. We returned home a bit earlier than expected. Immediately, we started crafting our wedding cake. We're gonna get the CG in this one, aren't we? Mixing ingredients, sifting flour, and preparing the batter filled our time.
そっちはどう？
Perfect. I'm ready when you are.
ありがとう。じゃあこれを順番に混ぜて。じゃあ次はバニラエッセンスを入れてもらっていい？
Okay.
よし。 そろそろオーブンの予熱頼める？
You got it. Making a wedding cake meant baking several layers to stack. It would be so much cake that eating it all would be impossible, but we still wanted to try. So I diligently proceeded to make those sponge cakes. After all, I got the feeling that we would regret it if we didn't at least try. I wanted to enjoy the things we could only experience as newlyweds. With no one to stop us, we continued to create our cake. Hours later, the layers were stacked and decorated with fresh cream.
できた。
Yay! At last we crafted our wedding cake. It might not have been professional, but it was something special we made together.
案外できるもんだな。じゃあ早速ファーストバイト。
Hey, let's take a photo to remember it first. I took several photos of the cake by itself. After snapping several pictures of the cake, I switched to the selfie camera. Come here, Allan.
ああ。
He came over, holding back laughter.
ところで君の顔、生クリームついたままだけどいいの？
Huh? Where?
ここだよ。
With his tongue hanging out. His lips brushed my cheek, causing me to twitch and accidentally take a photo. Hey, you made me take a picture. I hope I didn't make a weird face.
いや、かわいい顔が撮れてるよ。
Allan chuckled and kissed my cheek again, clearly doing it on purpose. Okay, one more time. I prepared myself and tapped the shutter button to get the perfect shot. Okay, great picture.
じゃあ次はファーストバイトをしよっか。
Suddenly, Allan grabbed a large spoon. Huh? Where'd you get that?
こっそり買っておいたんだ。さっきケーキを焼いていた間にね。
You bought it secretly? Did you leave and come back? Oh yeah, there was a brief moment when he said he needed to go out. Why is it playing like wedding music? I assumed he was making a phone call or something. But he'd actually gone to buy this spoon for our first bite. Well, let's enjoy it then.
Huh?
He scooped up a piece of cake and held it out to me.
はい。
This is delicious. The cake we baked together tasted better than I expected. Honestly, making the fresh cream was exhausting, but it turned out really well. I was amazed by the taste when I heard a chuckle beside me.
ほら、また口の端にクリームついちゃったよ。
He gently kissed the corner of my mouth to remove the cream. Oh.
うまいな。
Come on, that wasn't even a bite. Here, let me feed you.
待ってる。
I received the spoon from Allan for the first bite and scooped up a big chunk for him. Ready, Allan? Open up.
Allan
Opened wide and bit down on the spoon. But the amount I scooped up was too much, even for Allan. The fresh cream oozed out of his mouth and got all over his cheek. Looks like you've got cream on your face now, Allan.
じゃあ君が取ってくれる？
Now it's your turn to clean it up. Huh?
俺がしたみたいにしてみせて。
He's like, do it. Did he do that on purpose?
ほら。
Allan smiled as he leaned in, waiting. I hesitantly stuck out my tongue. There was cream at the corner of his mouth. As I went to lick it, he held my wrist. Suddenly, he pulled me close and we shared a kiss. The kiss caught me off guard and I accidentally touched the screen on my smartphone. I must have pressed the shutter button because it took photos of us kissing. I tried to delete those photos, but Allan snatched my phone away.
いいね。ロック画面にしちゃおうか。
For the lock screen. Allan.
冗談だよ。
When are we going to get the CG? I know what it is. We kissed and played with each other's hair, then he lifted me off my feet.
ほら、ファーストバイトの続きをしよ
Isn't the first bite only supposed to happen once?
う。でも、まだまだ食べ足りないだろ。それに、写真だけじゃなくて、動画でも残しておきたいし。
That's the screenshot that I was waiting for. I forgot what the other CG was. I know there was another one. Right? Oh, the merry-go-round, okay. After pressing the record button on the smartphone, he took some cream with his finger and offered it to me. I can't eat it like that.
大丈夫。ほら、食べて。
He gently put his finger in my mouth and I began to lick it. They're much too playful with this cream. I just can't. The taste of the fresh cream was so good it made me feel giddy.
おいしい？
It is, but I wanted to enjoy it more traditionally. I had envisioned us enjoying the cake with coffee. But instead we were indulging in it in a somewhat unconventional way and he was recording it. I know, very unconventional.
そうだね。ゆっくり食べようか。俺もこうしてじっくりと味わうよ。
And I lick it off your face. It's not what I meant. Allan made a devilish grin and began to lick the fresh cream from my lips. Oh my
確
goodness.
か、ファーストバイトには一生食べるものに困らせないって意味があるんだろ？
Yeah, I remember hearing that at a Cupid Corp seminar. To never let the others starve, always making sure that they had something good to eat. That was what it was supposed to symbolize. Some said the size of the cake was supposed to represent the depth of their love. Maybe that's why Allan wanted to make such a big cake.
ほら、もう一口。
Delicious.
俺にもくれる？
Of course, here. We used spoons and occasionally fed each other with our fingers. My goodness.
おいしいな。
Allan, you were only eating cake, but something about the atmosphere felt intoxicating. Maybe we added a bit too much liquor for the flavor. Oh, really? The first bite was also a symbol of a couple's first shared task. Our method of sharing seemed a bit unconventional, but we weren't exactly ordinary.
ほら、口を開けて。
We took our time savoring the wedding cake we made together. With a lavish wedding reception, this simple act held a special memory for us. Did I say with? Maybe it was without. Without, okay. After we finished, goodness, we showered to rinse off the cream and spent an intimate evening together.
リネット、君の声を聞かせて。
I thought when they said after we finished, they finished the intimate moment. Apparently not. Allan, I love you. Our tails were intertwined as we scratched the bed sheets as our connection deepened. I was receiving energy from the greater demon again. Why do these feelings only grow stronger? No matter how much time we spent together, it was never enough. I yearned for more. In response to my desires, Allan inserted his energy inside of me with even more power and force. That's what it meant to be a demon. If we continue like this, would I also become a greater demon one day? But I am known for matchmaking. Allan turned into a greater demon by feeding off of people's dreams. I think my situation was different. When I was no longer Cupid, I gained powers as a demon. I was able to predict the potential success of love between humans. I helped couples with my fortune telling. I had become the demon who meditated between the humans, like in the book. But helping with their romance did not enhance my demonic powers. It was That was why I needed to connect with Allan in this way. If I have to face other demons or gods, I might not be strong enough.
何考え事してるの
I know. He's with her, and her mind is not there. He bit my neck, and I gasped. In that moment, I realized that I was being devoured by the greater demon. A brief, instinctual fear washed over me. That must have been the power of a greater demon. If other demons attacked, I probably wouldn't win and would have to flee. That was why I needed more strength from Allan. The demonic power he shared with me felt warm and satisfying. I want more, Allan.
欲張りだね
I want to be like you, Allan. My desire to be his equal, to be a greater demon like him, was growing. That's probably the last thing he wants. I wanted to see his face, so I reached up and turned him towards me. As I nibbled on his neck, I sensed he was losing control.
いいよ一緒に上級悪魔になろう
Yes, I want to be the same as you, Allan. Just like when we were a pair of angels, we wanted to have the same kind of existence. Yet sometimes that thought worried me. It created the illusion that we were falling further into depravity. This must be why Allan looked so sad before. We grew stronger with each sin. He was saddened because that was the type of creatures we were. But I didn't want to deny it. When I chose this path, I wanted to be happy together with him. Even if we lived like demons, it wasn't like we harmed others. I hoped the gods wouldn't judge us. I hugged him and tried to draw power from deep within. My dreams would become his nourishment. We lived by giving and receiving like this. But it wasn't the gods of Celestia who determined this act to be depraved. It was humans from thousands of years ago. A demonic yet divine way to share power. We engaged in this act all night long. That's a long time, man. I guess that's why she sleeps for 8 hours.
俺と同じになりたい
I know, it's going to wear on him, isn't it? After Lynette fell asleep, I was on the roof for the first time in a long while, looking at the stars. In the old days, I would look up at heaven and sigh.
悪魔としての力が順調に強くなってる100年もすれば彼女も俺と同じ上級悪魔になれるだろうな
She encouraged customers that pill luxuria in their romantic lives, then drew power from me. Gradually, she was adapting to be a demon. Her growing strength would help reduce the chances of gods or other demons erasing her. It should have been something to celebrate, but a part of me couldn't shake off loneliness. It must have been my own selfishness.
彼女だけは綺麗なまま人間らしくいてほしいなんて彼女自身は別に望んでいないはずなのに
But if she remains human, and more pure and human, doesn't that make her more vulnerable? He doesn't want her vulnerable either. He just said he doesn't want anyone to erase her. You can't have both, man. When we were a pair of angels, I too had the desire to become one and the same. The desire to become a greater demon was the same as mine.
だからこれでいいこれでいいはずだ
Yet why did I feel like I was defiling her existence? I touched the part of my neck where she bit me and looked up at the sky once more. Somewhere in the sky was a place we could never reach again. A few days later, today was the shop's regular closed day. I was relaxing in bed when I heard the doorbell. Oh, who could it be?
ああ多分頼んでた荷物だ俺が出るよ
Delivery? I wonder what Allan bought. I followed him into the hallway. The thing that was delivered was much larger than I expected. After the delivery man left, I looked at the huge package. Is it a bathtub? What is that?
君へのプレゼント。
Allan snapped his fingers and the packaging unraveled. I knew it. All that was left was the bathtub. Bathtub?
DIY しようと思ったんだ。うちはシャワーしかないだろ。いつもシャワーだけってのは味気ないし、せっかくバスボムを買ったからさ、早く使いたくなったんだ。
He's so thoughtful.
確かにいい匂いだね。これも買っていこうか。
You sure?
あ、いつかバスタブがある家に引っ越した時に使えるだろ。
I recalled the bath bombs from our date. It was a little exchange talking about our future, but it seemed like Allan wanted to use the bath bombs now. That's a really cute bathtub. The design of the bathtub Allan chose was perfect for a couple. Hold on, are you going to install it yourself?
あ、結構こういうの得意なんだ。
Well, that's handy. Come to think of it, he's always been crafty. He used to craft flower crowns in heaven, and his rings were especially beautiful. Oh yeah, did he make you a bracelet too? And they made a bracelet together when she was under the Cupid's arrow effect, and he said it would protect her, and because he imbued some of his power into it to protect her from like lesser demons and stuff. And then it broke one day. Back then, he created things that made everyday life so much richer. Thanks, Allan. Is there anything I could do to help?
そうだな。ここで見ててくれる？
Allan gave me a gentle kiss on the forehead and started working on the bathtub. Just telling me to be here made me feel spoiled. Allan always likes doing things on his own. But I want to help. Can we do it together? I bent down beside Allan and met his gaze. Allan looked away, a bit shyly. Then he broke into a reserved smile.
そうだな。二人で入るものだし。一緒にやろうか。ごめん、そっち持ってもらえる？
Sure, ready. Together we positioned the tub into its designated spot in what was previously just a shower room. The space was designed for a tub so it fit quite easily. We decorated the room with brick tiles to give it a bathroom feel. Have you lived here by yourself until now, Allan?
そうだね。CC に入会する前から住んでいるから、多分30年ぐらいはここにいるかな。
And you never felt the need for a bathtub.
そうだね。必要ないって思ってたからかな。
Really?
人間みたいに健康維持に気をつける必要はない。ただ汗を流すだけだったから、時間がもったいないと思っていたんだ。でも、今は一人じゃない。少しでも君と過ごす時間を楽しみたい。そう思えるようになったんだよ。
I see. I had no idea how Allan lived his life before we reunited. But hearing what he said, I could tell that he wanted to cherish our time together. I felt so happy that I smiled back at Allan. Then we should make it the kind of bathroom where bath time is fun time. Sorry, I took that way out of context. He's probably thinking the same thing. Several hours later, our project was complete. Oh, it's a cute bathroom. It's actually a lot bigger than I was expecting. Where's the shower, though? All done.
結構時間かかったな。
With the tub secured, we cleaned up the space. Seeing our revamped bathroom, I was eager to use it. Hey, can we fill it with hot water now?
あ、点検も済んだし、掃除も終わった。大丈夫だよ。
Yay, then let's take a bath right now.
あ、
Bath time is fun time. Allan turned on the tap, releasing a steam of cold water that soon warmed up. Everything seemed perfect as the tub began to fill. I was filled with pride, watching the water rise in our tub that we made together. But I never expected he would go out and buy a tub. My casual comment about bath bombs led to him surprising me with an entire bathtub. Allan had a unique talent for pampering me. Hey, Allan.
Hmm?
Thank you so much. You're always so considerate of me.
うん。俺は好きでやってるだけだよ。君は俺を選んでくれた。だから君には幸せでいてほしい。人間らしい幸せを感じられるようにしたいんだ。
But Allan, while you're always there for me, don't forget to look after yourself. That's why I want to return the favor.
What?
I want to spoil you too, Allan. If there's anything you want me to do, you have to tell me.
リネット。
Allan made a troubled expression as if he were about to cry. I couldn't quite place the emotion in his eyes.
君は本当に変わらないな。
As I continued to watch the water fill the tub, he wrapped his arms around me gently.
お願いしてもいいの？
Yeah, anything.
なら君と一緒にアーブロで遊びたいな。いい？
Bath time is fun time, right? Not sure, but isn't that something I would want?
いや、俺がしたいことなんだ。だからお願い。付き合ってよ。
And that was how he convinced me, really. After preparing the bath, Allan and I slipped into the water together. I felt like Allan is just spoiling me again. I scooped up some bubbles and blew them out of my palms. Caught in my playful reverie, a soft chuckle startled me.
本当に可愛いな。
Huh? What do you mean?
そうやって考えてることが全部顔に出るところだよ。
He pressed his lips to my cheek, then my forehead. The sensation of our damp skin meeting carried an electrifying charge.
俺に甘やかされてるって思ってる？
Yes, isn't that a fact?
違うよ。俺が君に甘えているんだ。
It doesn't seem that way to me.
俺はずっと君と人間らしく暮らしたいって思っていたんだ。それが俺の願いだったからさ。だから今の俺は願いが叶って幸せなんだ。
As Allan whispered, his lips brushed against mine. Wait. Allan and I had kissed many times before. I thought I had gotten used to it, so why was my heart racing? His gentle gaze left me at a loss for words. Overwhelmed by the tenderness he showered me with, I felt a sudden urge to cling to him.
リネット。
Nothing. I was just thinking about how much I love you.
君はまたそんなこと言って。
He cradled the back of my neck, deepening our kiss. Allan's kisses, although sweet and fierce, always carried a trace of fear. It was a mixture of eternal struggle and pure longing as he held me in his arms. That was why I went in for a kiss myself. I didn't want to simply receive, I wanted to give as well. Allan, I love you.
俺も愛しているよ。
No matter how many times we embraced, I felt as if it were never enough. We sought each other out, yearning to bridge any distance. I yearned to never be apart from him. I didn't want him to ever make such lonely expressions. This time I wanted to be the one to spoil him. With that in mind, I gently stroked his hair. Sudden visit? From who? Oh my goodness. You don't have any friends. They're all old. Whatever. Oh, man. And Allan and Lynette's romance is like, it's always at like level 9 out of 10. And it easily goes into a 10. Everything they do is just, I don't know. They don't just casually kiss. I mean, they kiss once and then she makes a face and then it goes from 3 to 10. I also think it has something to do with their demon desires never being satiated either. So they're not human. They're greedy. They're greedy creatures. Anyway, I'm surprised I got 2 CGs in that one. Usually I don't, which means in the next episode I'm probably going to be scraping for one. It's probably not going to give me one at all. I might have to go even longer. Well, this one ended about at the hour mark. It's probably going to be a little bit less than an hour because I did a lot of pauses where I didn't actually pause recording. It still says, after a few decades. I think it's going to say that the entire route. I don't know why. Maybe it's to make you remember that this is not in a different timeline, but essentially after the Parasite 5's like debut or whatever. Like it's just after the fact. They're basically by themselves. They're the only ones left, and I mean, Parasite 5 is not gone, but they're probably not going to be in here. Although, if we get a surprise visit from like a really old Parasite 5, like that would be entertaining, wouldn't it? I don't know if that's the case or not. Wait, sudden visit, it probably is like Claris or something. Try to be something like that. Anyway, if you guys did enjoy, drop a like down below and or subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.